Hello and welcome to another Raggy's Beers, Wines and Spirits review. We're on a roll today. This is the, God knows how many I've done today. Fourth review. It's a Sunday, I'm allowed to. Do I care? No. So, today from the Old Dairy Brewery and made into draft beer in a bottle by lowcostbeer.com. It's an Imperial Porter called Dark Side of the Moon. 7%. So, as you know, if you've heard me say it before, we're on Raggy Avenue now. 7%. Oh, that woof of alcohol. So, I've just said, on the previous review, I'm trying to make sure these reviews go out. So the neighbours doing whatever they're doing in the garden next to me. Fucking about with some concrete post. And the funny thing is that there's a hedge that runs round the back of the property. The hedge is the border. These twats are taking the edge out, and the fucking edge is half mine, half theirs. So it's going to be interesting at some stage. They touch my fence thinking it's theirs, because I put the edge was there and I put a fence up. The fence is 100% mine. It's on my side. So we'll see if they even touch it. I'll say, excuse me. No, put your own head, put your own fence up. This is mine, all mine. So, black pour, white head. Oh, that smell of alcohol really does hit you. I've got the hot tub ready. It's at the premium thing. Wife's gone to bingo. So it says here, a formidable beer from the dark side. The dark side of the Force. The Force is really. Our full-bodied Imperial Porter has a bright, fruity character and punchy aroma from generous quantities of Amarillo and Chinook hops, perfectly balanced along spicy chocolate flavours and a wonderful smooth bitterness. So, obviously, I've never heard of the Old Dairy Brewery before, but there's thousands of breweries I've probably not heard of. You know, unless you travel the country wide and far, there are breweries that you on your doorstep you don't know of. You know, there's so many these days, and for me, like I've said in many of these draft beer videos just recently, Low Cost Beer are doing, they're bringing draft beer to the masses, 30 minutes, by doing what they're doing, and I love the business model. But anyway, let's get away from that and get onto the beer. You know, getting this beer out to the masses is amazing. I only stumbled onto Low Cost Beer when I googled one day short date beer, and then this site came up, and I thought, ooh, that's an interesting site, you know. Loads of beers I've never heard of any of them before. So I ordered a load, and they come. A couple that got replicated. But like the bloke says, you know, it was at the start of the lockdown and everyone was buying beer like a twat. And since then, you know, I've been watching the site and admiring the business model. You know, like anybody, you can see what they're doing, and it's the right thing to do. Never chuck beer away. If it's out of date, it doesn't bloody matter. Somebody will drink it. And I couldn't care less if it's a year out of date. I'll drink the sodding stuff. As long as the price is right. And as the price is right, job's a good one. And, you know, there's always somebody who will. I mean, yes, there's always a risk that something might not be 100%, shall we say, but very doubtful. You know, like most tins, once they're sealed, bottles, once they're sealed, they may go a little bit in quality, but not enough to be a problem. And you know the ones that have gone because they've blown. The cans will blow or the bottles will blow if there's anything wrong with them. Build up a gas, you know, whatever. So you do know. And and let's be fair, the cleanliness involved in brewing beer, it just, before it leaves the factories, the breweries, it's all tested. Before it goes in the bottle, it's all tested, taste tested, to make sure it's as is. so the chance of anything going wrong are so minimal anyway. You know, quality control is so key. Strong flavours, definitely getting the chocolate, definitely getting the strength. 7%, whoa. Yeah, we're definitely on Raggy Avenue at the moment. Strolling down, looking around, going, yeah, I'm happy. And it's funny, you know, it really is. Talking about beer cheers me up, and hence the reviews. Whilst in times recently that I've not been very well, mentally, more than anything, it's doing the beer reviews, family, that have kept me going, and seeing, you know, the progression of the channel. I mean, it's nowhere near as big as I'd love it to be, but hey, you know, other people have been doing beer reviews for 10 years. And unlike some, it's always been a hobby. And, I thought there was a big wasp in there. It's just a shadow. For me, I have a genuine love of what I do, and I would suppose that's the same for most of the beer reviewers out there. You know, there's a genuine love of beers, and they're turning it into something else. And when you see what some people do, where they're making money from the internet, and you can't fault anybody for making money from the internet, but as long as you don't lose your core values, that's the main thing. I mean, I look at somebody like Sean Sambrook from Theme Park Worldwide. He's obviously making a lot of money from the internet these days, and he's protecting his brand. I think he's had an incident recently where something's gone off and the police are involved, and he obviously can't say anything because, you know, you can't. And you know, nowadays, and I told him 2 years ago in comments, I said the best thing you can do is just do you and Charlotte, because one, he fucks about less, and two, they're actually quite a nice couple, and you know, not the prettiest couple in the world, but they make a good couple. Both love roller coasters. They're like a younger version of me and my wife. You know, we love roller coasters, and not that we can afford to go to roller coasters, you know, like other people can, but theme parks and the like, you know, you have family, that fucks it up for all of you. But before we had family, we were on theme parks all the time, you know, and to make money off a hobby that you love is a fantastic thing to do, you know. And there's a world to be exploited now. You look at social media. Social media is there for exploiting. All of us can do it. We are all good at something in life, or reasonably good. Personality. My son upstairs in the bedroom is a fantastic game player. If only he could talk to a camera, and it's not the easiest thing to do, trust me. First time I did a few beer reviews, I felt like a right twat. Nowadays I just look it. But he could make a lot of money by doing streaming videos of him playing games, talking rubbish. He could do it, I know he could. But he won't, because he don't feel confidence. There's no confidence in doing it. But I know he could. Yet my other son, the one with autism, Harry, he wants to do that, and I think he will do it. And I think he, at some stage, he's gonna start doing all that streaming and that, and we'll have to support him and set him up. And I mean, he's only 10. But I think for him, it'll be an amazing thing. And for somebody with autism, it's a great step onto the ladder, because he's got a right little personality on him. And I don't think he's frightened. He's not frightened of talking to a camera. He's already been doing it for the last year or so. He does the odd gaming thing where he's talking, "Hi guys, it's Gamer Raggy 210. And he's got it already. He's not bothered. Yet my other son, who is the actual gamer, proper gamer, can't do it. And you know, but yeah, this is a modern world we live in. There are no, go to work, earn your money, but look at social media. Social media, if you're good in a subject, if you know a subject and you're good on that subject, you can make yourself into a celebrity in that way, rather than going down some of the normal routes. And I tell you what, there's a lot of things you can do. Look at people in Nottingham. There's a person in Nottingham called Lad Baby. He's got like 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube. He's not going to work. He's earning a packet. He had 2 Christmas #1s that all the money went to charity. And I was talking about sausage rolls. And it just goes to show you, there's a world to be cracked. We are all looking at YouTube, watching videos on YouTube. We're all part of that world, you know. Following things on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you know. The world's changing. And it don't matter what age you are, if you're good at something and you're knowledgeable at something and people take to that, there's a world out there that can be exploited and everybody's doing it. But if you're better than the rest or you're unique to the rest, you know, at some stage, you've only got to once get some big personality to say, like me, bloody hell, check out Raggy's beer reviews. This guy talks some sense. And whether I do or not, that's another thing. But this guy is an amazing reviewer, I hope. And yeah, different review, unique reviews. He doesn't just talk about the beer, he talks about life and what's it like. And you know, the nod from 1 mega can make your channel into something amazing and give you the push that's all of a sudden you're in the mainstream. And whether you want to be in the mainstream, that's another thing, you know. It all comes with its pitfalls. If you've got any dirty laundry, it will come out eventually. So, because there's arseholes in the world that just want to, you know, reap bad stuff on you. And there we go. Let's get back to the beer, because bloody hell, that was some intense conversation. So, Old Dairy Brewery, Imperial Porter. Oh, I did see this on a low cost beer.com, and I thought, I'm having that. And I was desperate to get it, as I was some other beers. And I think it's Matt, who's the person who, I think he must be the manager or the boss, emailed me and said, I've saved you a Banoffee Stout, and I was so thankful, you know. There's things in life that make you really thankful, especially in times of darkness. I've gone through some tough times lately, you know. Even at the moment, I'm really flipping struggling. And I know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Even like I'm looking through the privet in front of me towards my neighbour's windows that they can't see in, thankful. But there's light amongst the privet, and it's the same light I can see in my life at the moment. I've got a great home life. I've got a wife who's seeing me struggle, you know, and it's not easy when you see somebody struggle with an illness that's invisible, you know. And in life, don't be too dismissive of people who've got illnesses you can't see, because I mean, unless you know they're absolutely bullshitting, well, that's fair enough. But you know, even at the moment, I'm as stressed to high heaven. I can feel it in my legs, and I don't mind talking about stress and depression. I don't care about the stigmas. There's no stigmas to me, you know. Stress, depression, anxiety. I see my mum with it, and I was always doubtful with my mum whether she was bullshitting or not, because she could put it on. And then I get it, and it's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I had it like 15 years ago, and I had all these symptoms, and I thought to myself, went to the doctors, and I told him all these symptoms. I said, what the hell's wrong with me? I'm working. I'm getting up at 6 in the morning. I'm doing a 7 till 4, and then I'm coming home and I'm working on the garden, doing internet work. I'm going to bed at like 2 or 3 in the morning, getting up again at 6, surviving on less than 3 hours sleep all the time. And I'd got so many things that were strange going off in the world. And he turns around to me and says, you're suffering from severe anxiety, stress and depression. And I went, oh, okay. And I was actually dumbstruck, and I thought, oh, is that it? I thought I was suffering from something really bad. And it's not until that moment that I realised that it was a lot worse than what it was. And I think as you get older, you get weaker. And let's be fair, I can be strong. There's times when I'm immensely strong. And I'll give you an example today. We're driving towards, was it today or yesterday? Yesterday. We're driving towards IKEA yesterday in Nottingham. We're going up the ring road, and then we turned onto the... And we've got this dickhead in front of us. He's fucking driving, and he's fucking swerving. What the fuck's he doing? And he's in one lane, out to another lane, no indicating at all. And he's doing it all... For the next 2 miles, he's doing this fucking about. And in the end, you know, the anxiety had gone, replaced by anger and fucking... I'm going to get that cunt and smack him one. And I tell you what, I've never seen such a shitty driver in my life. No indicator, no fuck all. Swerving from lane to lane. Now, if I was a copper, I'd have pulled him straight away. One brake light, and his driving was ridiculous. I'd have pulled him, because he's obviously not a driver. He's obviously, he needs pulling over because he's endangering everybody on the road. Is he pissed up? Probably. The way he was driving was unbelievable. Never seen anything like it in my life. And it's funny how all of a sudden, all my issues disappeared. And it's, I think it, mentally, focusing on something positive, or even something that's like that with some dickhead, and focusing on them, you know, focusing on anger gets you away from that. Strange. Anyway, this is taking some getting down. I tell you what, it's so strong. I've just done another review. It's the 3rd draft review I've done today. I wanted to get them in. Then I can drink the rest. I can drink the rest at my own leisure. Whoa. So that's got some bloody strength to it. I know it says 7%, but oh my god. Oh, bloody hell. It's knocking me for 6. It's really good stuff. And my old manager's just emailed me to ask how our work is. That's nice of him. You know, I wasn't happy with the last year at work. You may have heard of it. Not happy with a lot of things, really. Not supported as I should have been supported. And you know, being tough, being very tough. And you know, I made a wrong decision moving there. And even though it's a great place to work, really, and it could be a fantastic place, but it's already been tainted. There's you know, in any job where you've had a bad experience, there's no turning back, is there? You know, in life, we've all come across jobs. We've gone to jobs, and if you're lucky, if you haven't, you know, and you've been to jobs and you've come across a bad manager, a bad workmate, and they taint the job. It's the whole reason why I left Nottingham City Council, because the job was awful. In the end, it was awful. It had gone from a fantastic job, the world's best job, into a shitty job. And then Sainsbury's was the same, really. It was a fantastic job, ruined at the end because my mum died, and they're trying to force me onto tills when you're in the lowest state you've ever been in. And someone should have, you know, they should have come to me and said, how do you feel? Listen to how I feel. I said, look, you know, there's no way on earth we can force you on the tills at the moment, you know. And that to me, if they'd have left me, I'd have probably still been there, because I loved the job I did. You know, hated the flipping hours sometimes, shitty hours we got. But I loved the job, dealing with customers. It was great, you know, talking to people about beers and wines, pretty much like what I'm doing in the review purposes. And it was a fantastic job. You know, retailers are such a great area to get in, especially if it's an area that you can embrace with. You know, if you're into a certain thing, if you work on a deli, if you're into meat and you work on deli counts, that's great. I was going to say something wrong then, but I'm not going to go down that road. Yeah, if you like your meat. Yeah, no, not going down that road. But if you're into makeup, perfumes and that, you know, that sort of area, If you're into booze, obviously the booze area is a fantastic area to work on. And it can be, depending on the shop you work in, it can be an amazing place to work. Especially if you prove yourself, you know. I mean, for me, working at wine merchants, selling wine to people, quality wine, is a fantastic area. Like Majestic and their wine, I think that would be a fantastic job. And I don't know how strong the company is, because we had one in Daybook and it closed down. But selling wine to people, especially if you're knowledgeable on what you're selling, you know, I could sell wine to anybody. Even now, 5 years away from Sainsbury's, I could sell wine to you. I say, what are you into? You know, what sort of wine have you drank before? Are you a starter? And I could sell you wine. I could sell you basically anything in that respect. Not that I'm a dodgy fucker who wants to sell you shit, but because I've drank a lot of it and I have a passion for it, I could sell you it. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the beer. Look at this. We are 21 minutes in and 13 minutes left on the memory card. It's going to be a long review. I do apologise for anybody. You know, it's what you get with Raggy's reviews. You know, we're different. It's different. You know, it's every review. Most reviews are like a virtual pub experience. And, you know, sometimes it's nice to sit back and listen to somebody just talk about life. I mean, it's worrying that we are definitely going into a second wave. But the media, the mainstream media, are a bunch of wankers, stirring everything as much as they can to cause trouble. Daily Mail, I think it's the Daily Mail, and I tell you what, I fucking hate a lot of them. They're all tossers. The inevitability of the situation that we face ourselves in at the moment is, and I think this is the truth, is we're all going to get coronavirus, all of us. The ones that survive, yep, we're lucky. The ones that don't get it at all, you are lucky. You know, you have followed all the rules, but there's going to be a lot of people die from it. And, you know, you can be as clean as you can, but I don't think one mistake and you've got the fucker. And I think that's where it's aiming at. You know, we've got these Nightingale hospitals in place. It's all in place now. Everything's in place. If the second wave comes and it's bigger than the first wave, it's all in place. The governments of the world are expecting this. They're expecting a lot more. That's why you read into everything that's gone off so far. The first thing was to lock everything down. Let's get the structure in place. Let's get all the hospitals in place. Let's get as much in place as we can and keep that in place. They've got everything in place now. Across Britain, we've got the Nightingales. We've got capacity, immense capacity. You start coming out of lockdown because you can't afford to run it. You can't afford to run a society in lockdown. It isn't happening. You know, you try and educate the public. The public, I mean, let's be fair, most of the public are fucking idiots at times. And, you know, it's one of those things. They are idiots who don't listen to what you're being told. Don't believe it. So what happens next is everything's opened up. The idiots will continue to be idiots. And I'm afraid to say that the young student population are the worst. They're going to raves and that, and they're fucking up there because they think, oh, well, most of us aren't going to die anyway, so fuck it. They're doing that. Then you get in the religious population that are doing the same, and hence the closures around the country of where massive religious populations are. So that's not helping matters. But, you know, you look at it, you stand back and you look at the picture in front of you, and you've got to say that they know there's going to be a second wave. They know it's going to be worse than the first wave. and yet there's nothing they can do about it. You can't tell everybody to stay inside, because people will rebel. The population, the country can't afford it, the world can't afford it, you know. So, in the end, there's a lot of people going to die, and you know, you just hope you aren't one of them. And it's a scary situation. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. You know, there's no way of knowing, is there? You know, am I being controversial? I don't know. You know, you hope in life that you are wrong, but it's what you read into the situation. You read into what's going off, and you're fearful for what's coming. You know, because obviously, yes, it looks like. I mean, I know they're saying the Southeastern Asian community are the worst affected, but in China they've had the lowest deaths. So you know, they're obviously they're better at. Let's be fair, Chinese people wear masks nearly all the time, whereas us in Britain and Europe don't. You know, it's like fucking masks. I mean, let's be fair, they're horrible to wear. It's a strange old situation, coronavirus. And the quicker we get a vaccine, the better. But the amount of people dead is going to be in the millions, you know. It's only at something like 685,000 at the moment. But, you know, it's going to put countries on their knees. Spain are already suffering, you know. You know, when you look around Europe, you know, it's going to put countries on their knees. There's no anybody that survives on tourism is struggling. I mean, Britain now, all the British people are going to British resorts, you know, in and around Britain, because everyone's frightened of going aboard and catching something and then not being able to work afterwards. So campsites have never seen such trade. British beaches, you know. And if we get the weather over it, we're laughing, because everyone will think sod going aboard, we'll just stay here. It's not worth going aboard, it's not worth the hassle. It's not worth going, you know. A staycation is much better than going abroad. Tough times to be a manager or a boss of any company. So, loving this. Old Dairy Porter. Old Dairy Brewery, rather. And their Imperial Porter. What's it called? Something Moo. I can't remember what it's called now. I do apologise. It's the third review of the afternoon and I'm already feeling tanked. What I can say, absolute great tasting beer. I couldn't tell you what's in it now. I've had too much to drink. But the alcohol strength is amazing. 7%, fucking hell, feels more like a 10%. It's really strong. And I do apologise if I'm not like every other reviewer out there. Yeah. That is strong. I'm proper feeling it. And 28 minutes long, Jesus Christ. So, it's a long review. We've had a good talk, we've had a good chat, put the world to rights. And let's be fair, if you're in a pub with mates, so we're all sat around together virtually, and I'll have to try that one night, you know. Do some, if it's possible, you know, with so many and see if we can do it. You know, if anybody out there who's technical, and do like a virtual beer review where we're all sat together, 10 of us or something, and we're all chatting shit to each other. Because, to be honest, you know, there's a lot of people who watch the channel who I see their names pop up on, you know, all the time. And, you know, having a virtual beer review, that'd be something. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if the technology is there for that. But it's an interesting thing. And, you know, if people are interested in doing virtual beer reviews, say like 5 or 6 of us, all online at once, drinking hobgoblin or whatever's out there, you know, and just having a chit chat, having a laugh, and talking about life, you know. Because to be honest, if anything, these last few months has learnt us is the fact that talking to each other's, being there for each other's, is critical. You know, if I'd have had more friends the last year, to be honest, more friends out there, real friends, real world friends, you know, helping me out, talking me out of situations, and that, life would have been more for me. It's very hard talking everything to your wife, you know, and having people out there helping you through the worst of times, and you know, life might have been a bit more bearable. So, you know, it does help. It does help to have people there for you. So, that was absolutely gorgeous. I couldn't even remember what was in it. I certainly remember chocolate. The rest of it, I can't remember. Being honest, you know. I can remember chocolate. I know it's bloody strong. And a lovely smack of a good wallop of alcohol. And it's gone down well. And, oh my God. 31 minutes. Jesus Christ. So it's a long review. If anybody watches to the end of the review, please let me know. Yeah, you've endured a long review. And it's where I've talked shit. And, you know. So, before I run out of memory card, and I still feel stressed. Fucking stressed. I hate it. No need for it. I feel half tanked and I'm stressed. Sometimes life is just too much of an issue, isn't it? You know, I understand why people commit suicide now, I really do. Because they feel there's nowhere to go, I really do. Not that I would, obviously, but I can understand why. So, from the Old Dairy Brewery, what a brilliant Imperial Porter. And what's it called? Let me remember the name. The Dark Side of the Moo. Brilliant. I love the humour involved. And, yeah, absolute classic. Imperial Porter, 7%, bloody hell. That feels a lot stronger than 7%. I'm absolutely on the way, as it were. And I don't have any more because that's strong. And on Untapped it's got a rating of 3.79 out of 5. Well, I don't take much credence to aggregate websites because you get a lot of people who've got an agenda and they put their own, you know, a lot of lager reviewers will downgrade a beer because it's not a beer, not a lager. Same with beers. Beer reviewers, they will downgrade a lager, and it goes on and on. But anyway, out of 5, for me, 4.6 out of 5. We're definitely on a trip down Raggy Avenue. There's the beer. And again, Old Dairy Brewery, lovely beer. Fresh from the Garden of England. Don't know where it is. Oh, Kenton Medway. And it says here, our story began in early 2009 when the brewery was set up in an old milking parlour deep in the Kent countryside. The Old Dairy Brewery was an immediate success, building well, it says a lot of other things, but fair play. A fantastic beer. Yeah, and that's it for this beer review. Did I say the score? 4.6? Sure I did. And I've had too much to drink. Been a long day. Been a long life at the moment. You know. And hopefully I'll get some clout in the next few days and I can move on. Move on. Did you get that? Move on? Yes. Even I've got some sense of humour. Yeah, move on. And you know, life will be a better place, and the reviews will get better, I'm sure. You know, wittier. But anyway, a fantastic beer. Flipping it, that was lovely. I feel pissed as a fart. And again, low cost beer. I so love their business model. You know, I wished it was near Nottingham. I'd work for that company. I really would. You know, doing their beers, delivering. Oh, what a life. One day I'll get into the brewery trade, beer trade, and you know, because I think that's my. In the end, that's my creme de la creme trade to get into. And that's it for this beer review. As always, this is the longest beer review on the channel. I've talked shit for long enough. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Cheers.